All right, we welcome you to the live recorded session, 9 p.m. for the Medicine Garden, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We welcome you all to join us. We are a growing collective of people all around the world, actualizing our soul missions, receiving visions from the divine, and yeah, we're doing this thing. So I'm going to invite the room to share. We have maybe until about 8:45, so allow everyone maybe about 5 minutes to speak and share your soul message with the collective tonight. And I thank you. The topic tonight has been about when we are answering the call of conscious leadership, that we're being asked to oftentimes look at ourselves in ways and put our whole self on the line in full vulnerability in front of the world. And so there's an accountability, responsibility that comes with that. And a true awareness of ways that we self hate, because that reflects back to us in the clientels we have, in the audiences we are speaking to or receiving from us. So, imposter syndrome comes up, this constant need to be validated comes up. Um, and yeah, this competition, when if we are truly aligned in our soul, there should be peace happening, there should be love and unity consciousness happening. So we're going to allow everyone else to share their wisdom tonight with us. And again, I thank you all for being here. Abai.
Hotep, everybody. Uh, Hotep is just peace. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just responding to something that Emmanuel said earlier. The color thing. I mean, you could Google it yourself. In 1681, the term white was created. So y'all could check that out on your own. And then I ask people, do you know any landmass called white or black? You know what I mean? If you really want to know, where they're getting it with that, just do your research. But literally, I got a medu netter, but it could be pronounced medu netter. Let me tell you something. The Kemet, Kemet, is Egypt's original name. And what do you know? That means black land, land of the black. So those people that's over there now, those Arabs, who are they? You know what I'm saying? It's right here. I mean, they invaded Africa in what, 6th century, somewhere around in there. After we got the Romans off our back, then they jumped on our back. That's where, and this is not to step on anybody's toes about their beliefs or religion. No, truth is, you know what I mean. Truth gonna always be truth, whether you accept it or not. You know what I'm saying? A lie is gonna always need some assistance. The truth don't need no assistance. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be what it is, whether you accept it or not. That land was occupied by us until we were rudely interrupted with what Dr. Marimba Ani calls the Ma'afa. So I just wanted to touch on that color thing. Kemet is land of the black now, unless we're going back and referring to it from its original term. There is no land mass on the world map called black or white. And furthermore, this thing they call melanin, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, they named it melanin because it's really carbon, and you know what that means. So all I'm telling you is we possess something within us that most don't have, and it's almost like we have a cheat code. But like you said, with this ego thing, it depends on how you're looking at ego. You know what I mean? Because and from what I see, and like I said, I'm not a judgmental person. I'm a person that I just tell the truth. I've experienced so many horrific things to the point to where I mean I'm no longer afraid. I don't care. I done did the drinking, I done did the drugs. So if anybody see my face, that's old boy. He just done that. And what else? But what else? How you know that I wasn't doing using myself as an experiment to see how the mind and how the spirit and the mind still function. What are you using for? What is it that you're trying to do? Because I find myself under the influence, alcohol, coke. I done tried a few things, soft and hard. Man, I don't give a damn about telling nobody about that. What do you see sitting in front of you right now? A divine deity that's able to break that shit down and tell you what it was all about. And in the midst of those type of experiences, man, my spirit, I already had that or connection. So I was never submitting to that garbage to begin with, but I can tell you what they say, paranoia, this, that, and the other. Man, when you are a spirit like myself, and I don't do no bragging, I'm just telling you that I'm speaking on that presence in which I am one with. When you have a connection like that, you're already high. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually. So if you take something, hell yeah, you're gonna be paranoid because it makes you so aware of just how much evil is around you. It's absolutely ridiculous. So you like any little thing that happens, you're like, whoa, like it amplifies something, but you don't really need it. And I'm just kind of throwing it in there because I'm gonna speak what I gotta speak. I don't care what nobody gotta say. If you ain't sat down with me and got a chance to know me, or if you ain't had some conversation with me, then you just going off based off what you hear. And I'll tell people all the time, stop believing everything that you hear and know something. Know something instead of believing what everybody tell you, because you'll pay a crucial price by always allowing, excuse my language, always allowing bullshit to rent space in your mind, because you got to think about it. However your mind is, that's your God. That's your goddess. You know what I'm saying? If your mind is filled with bullshit, you have a bullshit ass God or goddess. Real talk. Y'all got to understand that. And when you're able to, you know, I guess face these things, like you look in the mirror. What is it that you see looking back at you? Dr. John Henry Clark said, if you don't, you say you have no friends. So stop trying to go through life like that. Go look in the mirror. If you do not like what you see, then you have no friends. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. John Henry Clark, look him up. One of the greatest teachers I've ever come across, and his name is John Henrik, Henrik, Clark with an E. Go look him up. And I heard him say this too. So be careful with the ego thing. Just that are so insecure that they have to pretend that they're better than others. Now I'm tying that back into the 1681 of creating the term white, because I know that our ancestors that were enslaved doing slavery, them and Caucasians or what have you, we were like this. The poor ones, and the slave masters looked out and saw, you see this shit? They, they like this. We got to do something about this because they're gonna take over our land. They're gonna take over. They're gonna take our land and take our money. And so they created the term white to give some the poor people, the poor whites, I might as well just use it now, something to have some kind of steam about themselves for. So they created a division. And since then we went with it. But like I say, Kemet, land of the black. I mean, you gotta know what's really going on, because most of what you have is just a copy of what you already had, and it's been given to you. It's been turned inside out, twisted upside down, and it's been given back to you. And do something with that shit. You know what I mean? Believe this, believe that. Rambling, but I ain't finished because I'm just gonna let the spirit of truth keep telling me, what to present to y'all. I'm here to learn. I'm here to give what I have, because it wasn't given to me to hold on to it. But yeah, hey man, that's big with that man. Pay attention to that. 1681. You think I'm lying? Go Google it, and you can also Google uh, how many groups have had us African Americans as slaves, bruh. The transatlantic slave trade, the Arabs taught the Europeans the slave trade. People don't even know that we were captives of the Arabs. Man, I'm talking like it's got to be somewhere close to a, because you look at the 400 years they had us here, and then you add, oh, and the Asians, they had us about 700 years. See, all these people know who we are. We're the only ones that don't know who we are. You know what I'm saying? And you add that up, man, it's totaling almost, because you have the Arabic slave trade. Then you had to translate. People like, what is that? Do your homework, man. And I'm gonna shut up for a minute, but I'm gonna tell y'all some of my experience. And it's still tied to this with ego and all of this and all these terms that people use, calling people snitches and police. You borrowed that shit from the Romans. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what that stuff really mean? Are you a part of some organized crime family? You know what I'm saying? That somebody violated some rules. So you can't call nobody that because it don't make no sense. What you're doing is you making up an excuse to blame somebody else for a choice that you made that ain't never worked out for you. That's insanity. But yet you keep doing it. Oh, I don't want nobody to think I'm soft. First of all, whoever told you that shit? Who told you you were soft? See, we planted these seeds in our head, and it created this ridiculous ass ego that benefits none of us as a whole, as a people, and it ain't even benefiting them. But yet they keep going along with it because it's like you're only doing what you're doing because you're worried about somebody else gonna think you soft. Literally, y'all, that's the epitome of soft because you're doing what you're doing to impress somebody else. What about your God or your goddess? You know what I'm saying? What about this unseen power that allowed your ass to come to be and have this experience? And I'm just mixing a little stuff up in there just to make y'all think. And it's you just get to the point, man, to where you can just see how people are just following, what others are doing. It don't have, it's leading us to nowhere. But I've been doing my little homework from, hmm, I've seen some things with religion versus spirituality, and I'm like, you know what, something's not right. Something's just not right here. So I started investigating and researching, and I found out where we come from. But like I said, it's two-part story because a lot of people are saying, "Well, I didn't come over here as a slave. I was we were already we're the indigenous. We're both. It's two parts because if you look at it, they call the hieroglyphs. It's the metal nature. Check this out. How in the hell did identical writings that's in ancient Kemet get over here in the Grand Canyons, get in Mexico? Because we sure know it didn't get there after 1619, right? So it had to been there before that. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, wow, wait a minute, I never thought about that. When you know something, writing didn't get there after we were brought over here as slaves because we wasn't even allowed to read or write. We had no education, so these things were already here. So we know that Christopher Columbus bullshit, that ain't nothing but some BS. So you 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 put two and two together. We are the people, we are the indigenous. And then the second part of the story, they brought us, but see, they had already come over there and learned what they learned. See, that's cold blooded. You can come over here and you're gonna learn. You learn from the likes of Imhotep, and then turn around and give credit to what is it, Hippocrates, talking about father of medicine and all these things like that. And all this is, I'm still relating it to ego. What does ego really mean to you? Is it a is it a divine spiritual type of ego, or is it a physical ego? Because this physicality that we so caught up in, there's no connection with your origin from that nonsense, man. That's why I'm saying, y'all stop believing everything somebody tell you, because all you got to do, like I told y'all last week, if there's just a smidget or one iota of your spiritual connection, things are not going to line up, and they're not going to make any sense, and you're going to be willing to ask questions. You notice I use the word willing. I ain't said nothing about ready. It's all about willingness. Be willing to do something different than what you have already been doing, because you look around you, it don't look like none of this other stuff is working. So it's like, you know what, I'm willing to die for what I'm telling you. I have no problem with it. I don't have no fear of death. I'm willing to speak this in front of whoever, wherever. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Because I'm tired of my people being lied to. I'm tired of the world being lied to. And like I say, you just you just got to be willing. But I'm gonna let somebody else talk. As soon as I hear something that's juicy, I'm getting right back in. So be prepared.
Thank you, Abai. Um, I just want to say, whoever's listening on the YouTube later, who's not of color, that in America, at least, there is no safe space where someone can publicly speak like this. There are Black churches occasionally, but for Black spiritual people, where can we openly express our spiritual selves without being deemed as angry and aggressive and imprisoned? You can't. That is a type of terrorism on spirituality. That's why I talk about spiritual freedom. especially in this country. So when people speak like this, be open to receive and understand and have compassion for people, even if it's different. So my platform is an attack. Not really. It's with peace and love on religious spirits. It's not even, I'm not talking about racism. It's religion, the root of all war on this earth. So I'm here to talk about spiritual freedom. I believe anyone can be a prophet at this time. That God can use anybody, doesn't matter. But be open to hear and to listen and to sit down. Sit down. And allow Black voices to rise at this time. All right, I had to speak to somebody listening on the YouTube later. Damien, Bubble, you were next.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I wanted to say to Abai on the topic of melanin and carbon. Carbon has 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. And you know, where they did the 666, trying to make it like something evil when it's just talking about us. So I just found that interesting. For me, I've never really had like a connection to books or to religion or spirituality, like where it's like now that I'm older, I'm getting into like reading the stuff about ancient Kemet and stuff like that and the Kabbalion and stuff. But my connection to God or source was always through my dreams, and obviously also in day-to-day life and synchronicities. They're going crazy right now. Sometimes I'm losing my mind just how fluid reality is becoming. But I wanted to talk about one dream. It's in 2 parts. So my dreams, I have like kind of like 3 realms with 3 types of dreams. Like one where I'm not conscious and I do whatever, like my ego or whatever is going on right now. I just go drive cars or whatever, fly around. And one I'm super conscious where I can just materialize anything instantly. Sometimes it gets really scary then too, because then if like fear starts creeping into my mind, it instantly gets projected out in my dreams and stuff goes crazy like that. And then there's another reality in my dreams where it's so dense and so low vibrational, I can't do anything. And sometimes I'm stuck in those dreams for like days. It feels like it's a nasty place. It's kind of like hell. I don't like the polarized things so much, but I've seen also like nasty things they do to people, and it's nasty. Now sometimes I get sent there just to see it, and then kind of like, I guess, I don't know why. Still, I hate when I get sent there, but it's not as much. And so in one of the dreams, I'm up in the mountaintops in like a Shaolin temple, and in front of me, either angel, source, God, whatever you want to call it, is like pointing to this hole. And out of this hole, I already feel like it's seeping like this. I can feel this vibration because my pineal starts tingling then. I'm like, I don't want to go down there. And he's like, nope, you're going down there. So I get sent down there, and it's just darkness. I can't use any of my abilities. Usually I can fly through walls. Again, I can teleport. I can do whatever my mind thinks it can, but there I can't. And then out of the shadows, these demons start coming, and they're looking really nasty, and it's just scary, so scary. So I'm just like running away in circles, and they're chasing me. They're having fun. And then I have like this ability where like if the dreams get too intense, I kind of like pull off my mask, and then I wake up. That's kind of like my safety, because sometimes I really see really bad things and it's too much for me, so I take it off. So I take it off. I can't sleep for the whole day. I'm like, wow, what kind of dream was that again? I think a week later, I end up in the same temple in the same mountains, and there's that like cloud type of entity again, expecting me already. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. But this time he gives me a sword, and once I pick up the sword, it turns into like fire. And then he's like, go down again. And I go down and I land there, and I have my wings again, and I have all like whatever I want to do. And then these demons start coming again. And this time I'm chasing them, I'm slicing them up, I'm destroying them, and they're running away. And the last one, the biggest one, then bows down to me. And then that's the dream. And I think we were talking about like self-hate and then just empowering ourselves. The dreams for me sometimes are just very like direct, but also like some symbolical, where like the only thing that has been getting me through life right now, which has been very difficult on me at times, and the spiritual attacks, like ever since I'm like small, I have like these demons or this energy just having fun with me. At times I would cry for Jesus, and this is no, I'm not knocking on Jesus, but Jesus never came, and they were laughing at me, and they're like, "You fucking idiot!" Like how Abai said, everyone knows what I am, and I don't know what I am, and they're just laughing at me in these spiritual realms because I'm running away. But that time when I got the sword, they ran away from me, and I was having the fun. It was like, keep that same energy. Like, where are you running? And then all I wanted to say was, I think that sword, a few days ago I had it again, but for me, like here in this reality, it's more of like truth, and the truth shall set you free, and that's what it's been doing for me lately. Because I have people trying to gaslight me or trying to bring up my past, my drug addictions. Like, who are you to talk on these topics? Who are you? And it's like, me, bro. And I have my truth, and they can't deal with that. They go crazy, they go nuts, and you just like, sometimes it gets scary too, like especially those people who like to manipulate. Like, I'm going through some stuff with my ex right now where it's just a lot, but I just stick to my truth, and then they can't touch you, especially like in the spiritual realm. Now I have a lot of old karmic energies trying to bother me right now because I'm detaching, and I'm gaining my power now in my dreams just because I have that truth. And I also feel like my voice is changing slowly. Like, I used to be like such a high pitch, so nervous, so anxious. Now I'm like getting my power back, and it's like I have some stuff to say. And I've been, through my dreams, I've been guided through certain things and through certain symbols and been prepared for this moment. So that's just what I wanted to share, is that like truth is so powerful. And like I think like the Eminem or whatever, like when they were telling him what he is and what he isn't, he's like, yeah, okay, I'm a white guy and I'm still a rapper. What are you gonna say now? Like, and then they can't say anything anymore. It's gotta own your truth, and then it's like, okay, now what? So I just want to give you that. Like, if you think like it gets hard, sorry, just own your truth, and then no one can touch you.
Enough said. That was good. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't. I'm sure other people recognize Damien here, but every time I see him on in the Medicine Garden or he writes to me, I see, I hear, I feel all that he is empowering himself through. It's so beautiful to witness. And yes, you spoke exact truth. I don't have anything else to say. Just thank you. And keep fighting, brother. Chris, and then Alicia, and then Yan Z, and then John.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I want to say a couple things about like the self hate people were talking about earlier, and I think that partially has a lot to do with history, like how our history is told. Um, Black people were, you know, I guess Black people is very, I'll just say Black folks have been all over the world. They were here when Christopher Columbus came here. He actually called them like very friendly. They're very loving people. I come from very friendly, caring people who will give you they'll give you vegetables, they'll feed you. They're very hospitable. And I think we have been portrayed as being very violent and very um, just like violent. We're gonna do stuff to the women. We're gonna rob you, we're gonna kill you. And there is this quote, I believe it was Malcolm X had this quote, subhuman conditions produce subhuman. So if you put people in a sardine can, or you push people, cram them in the city, and you give them low resources, and people need food, they need shelter. Some people might do some shisty stuff to eat, to feed their family, but everybody's crammed in. And last week I was just in Montana hunting, where there's people are spread out. Everybody's got a few acres. Your neighbor might be a mile away, and you still have violence there. So I'm also a dog person. I'm big into pedigrees and stuff. So through pedigrees, you learn how to follow certain traits, and even I guess through certain bloods, bloodlines, you will see certain spirits come out. And I believe in this group, we all come from different places, but we all have like a similar kind of spirit, moving through us. And I just think, you know, if you want to say self hate, and I think people need to be conscious of that, and you need to think and kind of, it's not gonna be all laid out for you, but you got to critically think and you got to connect the dots to some stuff. Like if you don't think people can make boats, you know what I'm saying? You don't think black folks could make boats and wasn't traveling before Christopher Columbus, you smoking some good weed. You know what I'm saying? So that's a simple one. If you don't think that, and like Abai said, you're finding hieroglyphics in the Grand Canyon. You're finding Hebrew tablets on Cherokee land, and you have to think too. For a long time, they tried to make it seem like you gotta black folks' skulls are smaller, so now you got a smaller brain. It's a bunch of hate where you don't want people to get together and talk or get together and read. So a probably I don't know how long, maybe 5, 6, who knows, 10 years back or something. I started thinking about that, and I'm around a lot of different races of people, and you got to think, why is there hate for black folks all over the world? It's not because you're slow. What do we do with people who are a little bit slow or who need some help? We help them out even more. You spend more time teaching them how to read. You spend more time teaching them how to do something. A lot of times I'll get around different people and they at first, they're looking like, well, you don't know what's going on. But you spend enough time with me, I'm showing you picking up off of me. So when it comes to following traits, it's like if I'm like that, I know my ancestors was like that. So it ain't making no sense. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm blessed to have my granny. So I'll sit with her on Sundays. We'll drink coffee. We'll chop it up. Just she'll tell childhood stories, whatever. I get a lot of game from her. And our history is told really skewed. And it's it is it. I don't really want to read a book every day in middle school or high school talking about how black folks got whipped or my grandpa taught your grandpa everything. So it's like it ain't gonna make you. It's not gonna make you want to check out no stuff. It's not stimulating my mind. It's really kind of fucking it up. Excuse my French, but and I think it's doing a a disjustice to everyone because it's not the truth. Whether you're black or white, it's all about how you produce it. You know what I'm saying? What's what's really popping? Are you really smart, or you just a motherfucker been lying to you? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's doing the disjustice to the whole program. It's like if you had I coach too, so it's like if you had a sports team and you was only picking the kids with red curly hair, you gonna have a bad team. I'm picking the best players, man. Whether you black, Mexican, Irish, German, what you know what I'm saying? And that's about truth. But the truth can be I love to hear the truth. Like uh Aboye, when you talking, I like listening to you talk. Unzi, you was talking some good stuff. Bubble, you was talking some good stuff. I like your live. But it's like some people hate to hear the truth, man. They hate to hear the truth. And what you guys were talking about, self-love earlier. Last week we talked about that a little bit. But self-love can be very attractive, and I might be a little sensitive sometimes. So if I say something that somebody ain't, I'll just I forget the dude's name who was on here earlier. Um, but he was just talking about living by example. And when you do that, your actions speak a lot louder than your words, even to somebody who's a hater. They can't they can't really deny it. And they could try to lure you in and kind of pick your ego, but if you're a pretty balanced person, you just going your spirit is gonna irritate them every time. You don't even gotta say nothing. As soon as you come around, your spirit, your confidence, your love for yourself is gonna really get their blood boiling. And I'm happy to be here and to hear everybody speak, and appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Education system, what the kids and we've been programmed with is not a reflection of truth or reality. I know that everyone in this room is aware of that, but that's why I'm being called to build conscious lifestyle coaching and make sure all of you write your book, all of you start your channels, all of you write the album, you sing the album. You have to. We have to reprogram, and platforms like this, like YouTube, offer us the opportunity to reprogram, to teach consciousness. So, thank you, Alicia.
Thank you again, Raileigh. I appreciate the time. There's a few things that came to heart that I need to speak upon. I am an ancient soul. And so when we speak of Kemet, a source grants me access to my Akashic records. I recall much more. And I appreciate a lot of what the masculines in the space have spoken upon. And I want for those that are listening to understand that although Black in its entirety is a foundation for life on this planet for sure, there are a lot of allies, a lot of beings that come back to look and be white, to look and be Arab, to look and be a bunch of things. So if you are listening and you are one of those things, do not minimize who you are, because you may not look like those of us on this panel, okay? And I did have to write some things down because it was just kind of coming in. So Aboye, I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. You were speaking of, and I think Bubble as well, as far as addictions. And, you know, in ancient practices, I was a shaman before we partook in shrooms. It was an ancient practice to help us connect. As a high priestess, we drink alcohol at certain events. Things like Lionsgate, where we are drinking literally for our ancestors and spirit realms. So it's not so much a matter of addictions being a negative thing, because they are a part of all of our stories in some way or the other. It's not always drugs and alcohol, right? It's lots of things we can be addicted to. It's about understanding that it is for a higher purpose in some instances, if your intention is appropriate and you're called upon doing that. So the other thing, I think Bubble was mentioning his streams. Don't get attacked there. He was mentioning his streams, and when we rest, we are going into different dimensions. My soul comes from the 12th dimension. And we reside in multiple dimensions, all of us. So when we rest, that is a form of our higher self. And that is real. And it is happening. And so what came to me for you, Bubble, is that you may want to look into some protections, and anyone can do this. As you sleep, you can simply put sea salt under your mattress for protection. You can put a bay leaf under your mattress or your pillow for protection, to protect your crown, because as you rise, as you remember, and as you become who you came to be, you will be under spiritual attacks in this realm and others. So look into whatever practices sit well with your souls to protect yourselves. It is a matter of inclusion of all beings that are seeking the highest good of all, and to help Gaia, who is a being herself, raise and remember who she is. So we do have spiritual duties and obligations to be open, to be authentic, and to be receptive of all that are on their path in the way of which they are. And with that, I also wanted to, it's important that each soul that is here and that will listen to this really takes the time to nurture themselves, really protect your crowns, protect your auric field. And lastly, it is important and necessary. I forget who it was, I believe Tiffany, she said something very beautiful about just doing the most simplest of things to the next soul that may change their life. A smile, opening the door, telling the cashier to have a good rest of their shift. But it's equally important that in every exchange, including at the end of this call, to always call back your power every day. Call back your energy. Because although your intentions may be well, we are giving our energy, and it is important that we recharge and that we rest every day and throughout the day. I love you all. I'm very grateful that you are here and you're each on your path, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yanzi.
Hey, so I wanted to kind of, first of all, I appreciate everybody's messages so far. Sitting here in meditation and definitely taking in the vibration of it. Say, mad helpful. So everybody got something to say that's real necessary. So I'm just, it's good to sit back and just hear people genuinely care about each other. You know, it's not necessarily a rare thing in my personal experience, but it's been a rare thing in my worldly experience, which is really limited to the southern United States. So all in all, on the basis of the scheme here, which is skin-based racism, historically speaking, that's a nice level. That's a very uneven playing field. A lot of people get killed there. I don't reside there. However, I'm aware of my multifaceted nature tells me that it's important to learn those lessons so they don't get passed on to the future generation. So in a practical sense, I see that there's only 4 colors that are really relevant if we're dealing with the greater aspect of it, which is you have 4 directions symbolized by either the cosmogram of the Congo or the cosmogram of the medicine wheel, red, white, yellow, and black. Those colors. Those are the 4 faces of the great work or the alchemical process. And if we're talking color in that sense, we're talking value, and your value system has to be congruent with those mathematics to even understand what I'm saying, let alone be introduced or initiated into that particular framework. So that's a horizontal level. That's the x-axis. That's the horizontal plane. Again, that's a real wonderful level to play on. But there's also a y-axis, and most people are asking the question why. The y-axis has to be congruent or has to be interrelated or it has become complementary to the x-axis. So when I look at my own inner process, my own inner work, the colors as far as red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, which would be the chakra system if we're dealing with verticals. The only color that ever got in my way was blue, and I don't know any blue people personally. So I have to look at myself and say nothing outside of me was ever actually an issue. The issue was reflecting in the mirror of the reality and realizing everything's emanating from a central perspective. So I heard somebody say something about coming home or like returning home to self and all that. That resonates with me. Again, it's a matter of values, and what you value is really going to be the ultimate expression of even if it's something correct. There's a saying, it's like, if the wrong man uses the right means work in the wrong way. If you're not correcting yourself, it doesn't matter. If it's for the best of intentions, really doesn't matter, because my particular, the reason I'm even saying this is because culturally speaking, if we're talking Kemet and what is called ancient Black culture, it's really a matter of becoming true, a voice, or Ma'akaru. And that's the whole principle of having a heart as light as a feather. And you have to pass your own test. Nobody's really going to do anything to you unless you allow them, which I hear the sisters say, call your energy back. That's important. Good spiritual hygiene, that's real practical. And a lot of that stuff get kind of lost or lost in translation, or it seems too simple, and it seems too practical, or like too almost too gentle. It's real important to do that kind of stuff where you're doing good ritual and spiritual housekeeping and keeping yourself focused on the task at hand, which is, self-evolution. So yeah, I appreciate everybody again. Color's cool, man. I'm an artist, I like color. But more importantly is what you do with the color and why you even dealing in color in the first place. Me personally, I switched up from color to I went black and white. I'm into black and white. I'm into the more so the bamboo brush right now than the spray paint, So that's where I'm at as an artist. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll pass the baton from there.
Thank you. Bamboo brush. I like it. That's where I'm about to go. I'm going to be offline for the next couple of days, calling my power back. It's time for me to be in the water. I'm very excited to go back and allow this next book to come through me. And it's hard to detach from my energy of being on a platform, and then the algorithm, it punishes you when you don't live in that virtual world. So, but I can't live my life like that. So I'm excited to go back in and get creative and play music and write poetry, not for anybody else, just for me and God. So thank you for that reminders to my artists in here. And thank you. It's so refreshing. All right, John, will you close us out?
Am I there? Yeah. Somehow keep giving the wrong message or something like that, because God want me to put this out, but I don't want to do it. I want to do what I came back here to do. But let's go like this. Okay. The first time I went to heaven as a child, I didn't want to come back. Okay, it's this place. The lions, the animals, and all. You can feel all this. That's why I want to go back to heaven. Now, the other thing that it is like when I told you I wasn't addicted or nothing like that. When I told you about this covenant that me and God made when I was 26 in the Navy and I died, going for 15 minutes. Part of that covenant was for me to learn about this crack thing and show them how to get off of it. That was part of it. And I wasn't going to do it in 1998 because I just couldn't do it. I said, God, I ain't going to do it. You got to give me a lot of pain. And he said, are you sure? And I said, well, I ain't going to do it. I know I'm supposed to do it, but I'm not doing that. And so that's when fibromyalgia came from. And I made that name up. I could tell you where it came from. I told him this name in Pittsburgh. Fiber is muscle. Myalgia is pain. In Latin, that's where that came from. Me making it up. But anyway, So when I got that pain like that, you know, and I was dying. So when I say that I'm not upset with myself, I'm very proud of myself, but I'd rather be in heaven because I fought so many times to get there as a child, and that was my reward. I was telling everybody, "What is you worrying about this?" And I'm a little kid, you know, and I mean, I was little telling people this, grown ups and all. The main thing is you don't want to go to hell, you want to go to heaven. So, you know, uh, but that's the reason why, I want to go back to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. I want to go back to heaven though. Now, the pain that started in 1998 that made me do that, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not addicted to anything. And I had to prove that to God over and over. He tested me over and over and over and over and over with this pain, over and over with stoppers. I said, I could get off it, and I showed it over and over. I'm 62 now. I was a child growing up when I first started smoking, and 1998, this girl threw that stuff down my throat because I couldn't breathe because the muscles was from the fibromyalgia was closing off, my breathing in my lungs. But God said, I said it's only but I'm showing how to get off that. And I showed people how to get off of that by smoking reefer and getting off over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? Need you to understand this because I don't want to write no story. It's boring to me. I'd rather come back and make this thing that I was going to come back, get my $1 million back, God, at 55. I died at, I was 28. And you said that I wasn't ready yet. That wasn't even all in the thing. Okay, now I got all these other things. These things came way after that. These inventions I got now, but I had inventions all the time. I gave to people and stuff like that because I always knew that I could make another one. And there was times when I asked God, okay, God, I need you on this when I saved the ship out of the hurricane, the big ship, So I knew when God was here, and I knew when it was me, because I could feel it. Because they say I'm so highly sensitive in the spirit, and these demons and stuff that come up, used to mess with me all the time. They run away from me now. Because I told them I wasn't going to keep on letting this happen. I'm going to rip you apart. Next time you come in, don't come in here again. Okay? The reason that I'm trying to get out there, because I'm not an addict. I'm not a alcoholic. Never have been. Never this, never that. It was always, the only reason you got to learn how to do this. You got to go through this so you can go through that thing so that when you come out. But God, I was always like that as a child. Remember, I was always saving everybody. Okay, I got to go through this again. Then, to make me. I mean, there was a point where he said there's some things I just don't want to tell you. We'll wait on that. But anyway, I don't want to mess up nobody's belief systems and stuff like that. But the thing is that when you give up heaven to come back so many times and this, that, and the other, and then in order for you to do what you made this agreement to do with, you got to do something else. Now you got to do something. Now it's never coming because you ain't like this, because you ain't done this, because you ain't done that. What are you talking about? I did do this and I did do that. What it don't even make no difference. I'm supposed to be here now, like we said. And now he's telling me, and like the inventions I got now, he told me the 100% disability that I put that in there after I gave him my $1 million that's supposed to be invested because I knew that I needed to go finish the work on the submarines when I got to my duty station in Norfolk, Virginia. I wouldn't have stayed in the Navy because I knew that people was going to be jealous. They was going to be getting rid of my records. They was going to be doing this. They was going to be doing that, and I was going to leave. So I didn't want to take the $1 million because I wanted to save the world like that. And I needed to finish doing that, save the world for the next 30 years, which I did with the pension I put on the Seabolt submarine, which made me $1 million. Told my dad and my brothers and sisters and I'm going to make $1 million to take care of the world, to become the president that's going to fix all the laws and all that. So you need to understand this, because I'm not somebody else going to have to write this for me, because I got other things that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take care of like presidencies and governor of the world, because I'm the only one trusted enough by them to do it. That I was told that over and over by many. So this is why, when I got like inventions, now that you didn't keep that promise, so now you're stopping this. You're stopping my 100% disability, so I don't get all that back. You stop my Social Security, $80,000 that I was supposed to get. The only reason I got the Social Security that I got now is because I had to sign something to give some of that, because I was getting ready to die then, because I couldn't move around too much no more, and I wasn't able to take care of myself. So I lost $80,000 or something like that, because I had to agree just to get the Social Security that I get now. So God was like saying, no, if you how can I say it? If you do this, I'll give you everything. I'll give you everything. That's not what I came here for. But I can make money on my own to do that. But you keep stopping it. So, and you tell me you're stopping it because you want me to do what we didn't agree on. I didn't give up heaven to do all these other things. I gave up heaven to do what I said I was going to do, and you agreed to it. This is the problem I have. This is the reason why I want to go back there. Not because I want to kill myself, or pain ain't nothing. Heaven is way better than this. That's why. It's not about me hating myself or hate the way I look. God done this to me. I could have been I kept on fighting, taking care of myself for a long time. It took within the last like 5 years. Within the last 3 years is when I started looking like this. And I ain't worried about that. Women like me and stuff like that. But I always tried to get married. I'm not this person to go out and sleep with a woman, go out to sleep with a woman. I was always sleeping. If I slept with a woman, I was trying to marry that woman. Believe that. And people know that about me in my hometown, everywhere, all over America. So I don't just want y'all to know that the things that maybe I think that you're maybe thinking, that's not me. I'm a different person now. I'm happy when I go outside, people smile at me, young girls play with me all the time. Oh, you look like them. Some reason they do. Now I got a Ford F-150 truck. I had that for like 6 years. I had a newer truck. It's the newer looking F-150 with the big rulers and all the big tall wheels. Not the wide one, but it's up there. It's tall. People, you like the way it looks. But I had a newer truck. I had a Nissan Titan 2007, and I wrecked it on ice. But the reason why, see, I just moved from the horrible place where the sorcery was real bad in this place called Hollywood. God put me in there so they could do this stuff to me, So I'm supposed to learn how to fight back. Because, I'm not scared of fighting and dying and all that. I got cuts and all that, shot wounds and everything. I've died many times. The people know it. And it's documented. And it's not bragging. It's just that's what it was. That's what it is. Bragging, like you say, is stupid. I've been saying that since I was a kid. But heck, I forgot what I was about to say. But anyway, I'm still trying to get to that point. Like, like I said, the adventures I have, trying to get the grants. I don't want to get no loan. It's not working. So I say, well, if you do this, and I get mad. That's why I say it like that. Because I'm mad at you trying to tell me if I do this. You said that I already got the rewards. The rewards already, but I ain't even worried about them. You could have the rewards. Let me just stopping me from doing it on my own then. You could be there with me. I asked you to come. I asked you to be there with me over and over. I don't pray all the time. That was part of the covenant. I prayed, but I'm not going to keep asking and asking for 40 days, 40 nights like Jesus did. Because I'm just not, it makes me unhappy to do that. So I'm not going to do that. And that was our agreement. That I pray every night. No, I'm not ask for everything. I pray and ask for forgiveness for sins and stuff like that. And pray to help the world be better, help me get in the presidency so I can fix this government. Because people trust me and I got this mind that just grabs people in.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop right here because I don't like, thinking about it that much because they'll start hearing up sometimes. But I like hearing because I don't get to cry that much. But sometimes there's some things that it's not sad. Well, to you it would, yeah. But it's a story that I got saved for another time.
Thank you. I look forward to hearing it. Thank you all for holding this space for everybody. You're gonna meet with John. And thank you for the reminder, John, that it's not everyone's path to be a writer or a business owner. Listen to what God is telling you to do. Sometimes we're not going to like it. And I appreciate John's frankness in that when we have a soul calling and God keeps us alive for reasons we don't always know what that is. It just is. And we have to accept and keep moving and find the joy here anyway and know that God is with us. And we are going to go home. And so there's nothing really to achieve in this life. You can think that the soul mission is going to give you $1 million or make this beautiful life of yourself, and then you get there and God says, all right, here's the next next mission, the next task. So thank you for that reminder. And I feel that coming from myself. Conscious lifestyle coaching is not the only thing God's going to tell me to do. There's more to it. John, I hope you get to the ears of the people and the leaders of this world. I believe you can do that, and you're fearless in being heard. So I don't doubt that you will get there. And I thank you. I thank all of you for your service and all the ways that you're being called to walk by God, by the divine. I love all of you sincerely. Hope to see you again. I hope to hear from you again. I hope to walk this journey with you until my last breath. I really am a friend for life. So please know I'm here. And again, email me and we'll get connected on the WhatsApp group. And anyone else who's listening on YouTube, thank you for taking the time to listen to the full video, to hearing the hearts and the wisdoms of people who are around the world. So thank you. I'll see you all next time. And peace and love to you. And see you soon. Much love.